What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have a new update about the trial of Jonathan Majors. Today, Jonathan Majors appeared in court virtually, and today they set yet another court date for the trial. Now, something seems to be shifting, though, in the way that people are now starting to report about this case and specifically how they speak of Jonathan Majors. And I think that after all of the evidence in his favor has come out now, it seems like more and more people are starting to believe him. But of course, until they have the trial and the court and the judge decides, until he is guilty or innocent, of course, nothing really matters. However, how people view him now will ultimately matter after the trial. And it is actually good to kind of see this shift with the news outlets reporting about him and his case. And we'll break down why this is good, and we'll break down what happened today. The trial, unfortunately, is delayed again. However, this time it's not by that long, fortunately. But we'll break down what you need to know in this video. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the trial of Jonathan Majors and for the latest MCU news. Also, if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner picks one item, and we pick a winner at the end of each month. So as far as I can tell, the first people to report about this was Deadline. And the article starts off by stating almost 6 months after Jonathan Majors was arrested in New York City on domestic violence charges, the start of the Creed 3 actor's trial on the matter was today pushed yet again. A very short hearing Wednesday, today, determined that another hearing will now be held on September 15th to set a new trial date. In theory. So first and foremost, like I said, they did meet today and Jonathan Majors appeared in court virtually. And they have decided to yet again delay the start of this trial. And they decided to do this. And they have decided to do this because Jonathan Majors' attorneys say that they found deficiencies with the certificate of compliance that the prosecution against Jonathan Majors filed. And we'll explain what this means in just a bit, but let's get through the article first. This next part is where I noticed that the reporting is kind of viewing Jonathan Majors in a little bit of a different way now. They state, after numerous delays, today was supposed to be the actual start of the actor's trial on the misdemeanor charges stemming from the incident in and around his Chelsea apartment on March 25th. Though he was the one who called 911 back in the spring, the King the Conqueror actor is looking at up to a year behind bars if found guilty on the claims prosecuted by Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office. So here they are actually addressing that Jonathan Majors was the one to call the police for the situation. And for those who may not know the full situation, the situation was when he went back home to his apartment, he found the woman, his ex, Grace Jabari, passed out, drunk, and half naked on the floor of his closet. Earlier, they were in a private car together in which he left, and reportedly he left because she was trying to see his phone and started to kind of attack him trying to see. So he left her, and he did not return to his apartment till later on in the morning, but she went out clubbing, and there is video footage of this and tons of pictures of this as well. So it's nice to see that they are kind of being a little less biased now, because when the reports first came out, everybody was stating Jonathan Majors is guilty. He did all this and now he's going to court. It just pretty much sounded like everybody had wrote him off and said that he was guilty right away because of what was presented in the very first report. However, now it does seem like everybody is remaining pretty neutral, which is a good sign, because that means a lot of people have seen all the evidence that has come out recently and are thinking, well, maybe he's not guilty. Again, we're not 100% sure until the trial happens and all the evidence is presented, but it is nice to see people being a little unbiased now. And there's even more of that in the article. They continue to state, the defense team has made repeated efforts to turn the spotlight onto the character and motivations of the 30-year-old woman who was in the apartment with Majors on March 25th, speaking of his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, current girlfriend at the time. They state, on the scene that night, NYPD officers reported the now ex-girlfriend of Majors suffered minor injuries to her head and neck from the incident, notwithstanding any litany of proclamations and predictions by Chaudhry's office in the months since, not to mention leaked video footage of the woman out clubbing that weekend. The ex-girlfriend in question has not been arrested by the police. So even here, they state that the NYPD said that she suffered injury and trauma, and they reported it was from him, which is why they arrested him. But she was seen out clubbing after she reportedly got harassed and abused, because they reported this happened in the car that they were sharing. However, like I mentioned before, Jonathan Majors exited that car and walked away from the situation, and then the woman still went out clubbing despite reporting several injuries. And in the footage and the pictures that we've seen of it, she seems perfectly fine. She is using the hand that was reportedly injured multiple times, holding drinks in her hand. And according to Jonathan Majors' legal team, there is street CCTV footage of him exiting the private car that they hired and footage of her trying to pull him back in, but eventually he gets away. And they say he was very calm and collected, and people even stop him on the street and ask him for a photo, in which he lets them. He takes a photo with them very kindly and willingly. And this is according to Majors' law team. So even this report by Deadline is stating, well, they claimed one thing, but there is video footage out there kind of showing a different thing. So you could see how the media is kind of turning now and trying to remain impartial on the subject, which of course is how it should be until a decision is made in court. And even recently, you might have noticed the past couple of days, Marvel Studios has released a new TV spot for the Loki series, which shows a lot of Jonathan Majors' Kang variant, Victor Timely. Before, Marvel Studios and Disney were kind of putting off any type of promotion or marketing that had Jonathan Majors in it, or even the mention of his character Kang. For the promotions of Ant-Man and the Wasp and the credits and the description on Disney Plus, all they had was the credit to Jonathan Majors for playing Kang, but in the description of what the movie was about, they even removed Kang the Conqueror. They just simply talked about a villain and a threat. So they've changed a little bit on that side as well, now including him in the full promotions for Loki Season 2. And as far as this is concerned, I want to clarify that this is just speculation on my part now, but it is possible that Jonathan Majors and his legal team met with Marvel Studios, of course, to try and explain to them what happened. If what they claim is true and he is innocent, and they do have all the evidence that they've said they have, they could have gone to Marvel Studios and Disney in order to keep and protect his job and his role as Kang the Conqueror, and presented all of that evidence and said something along the lines of, please don't make an official decision until the trial happens and a judge makes a decision, because they believe that Jonathan Majors is indeed innocent. And if he is indeed innocent, he should not be punished and should be allowed to keep his role as Kang the Conqueror in the MCU. And he's already lost other jobs as well, and he's been dropped by his management and PR company. And Deadline and even the Hollywood Reporter both report that Disney is indeed now even including him in the marketing. But they also do acknowledge that he has lost jobs and has been dropped from some of his representation. Now, the last time the trial was delayed, Jonathan Majors' team said that they were fully ready for the trial to begin. It was the other side, the prosecution, that said they needed more time to gather evidence. This time, the prosecution stated that they were ready for the trial, but the defense lawyers for Jonathan Majors stated in court that they found deficiencies in discovery that still needed to be addressed with the certificate of compliance. Now, a certificate of compliance in court means that a report provided by the agency to the Office of the State Auditor states that the grantee has met the reporting requirements. And according to Jonathan Majors' team, when the prosecution submitted that, they found themselves deficiencies in it. We don't know what they are, we don't know what it could mean, but this is why the trial is delayed. And again, it is set to September 15th, so not another month away, not a few months away, only 10 days away from now. So hopefully then we learn a lot more about what exactly is happening for this trial. But again, Jonathan Majors' team continued to state that he is indeed the victim here, that he did not harass her or abuse her or assault her in any type of way. And they claim that they have the evidence to support that. And of course, if we hear anything else in the meantime, we'll of course do an update video about it. And of course, we'll update you on September 15th as well. So to stay up to date, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Please don't forget to like the video. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.